since just adding on to what you just said, and you were also mentioning about how we have this north-south divide today, and I think these fault lines are becoming more visible as the politics of today progresses. With campaigns like Stop Hindi Imposition, there is a point where we are almost regressive and hateful towards Sanskritam. Why is this happening? And also, why is there a linguistic divide like this? And as a language, how can Sanskritam further, going in the future, unite Bharata?
See, with respect to Hindi imposition, I have my own thoughts. If any part of the country tries imposing its own language and culture on the other part, that's wrong. Because Tamil, I'm not just going to talk about the South Indian language as a whole, but as a particular language, Tamil itself is a very, very old and a classical language. It's been proved by history that there are works dating to even 3000, roughly about 1000 BC and 500 BC, which is very, very old. And you had grammar books in Tamil language at that point in time, when most other languages were not even spoken. So it's a very old language. So if I go to a person in Tuticorin district or Kanyakumari district who has been learning Tamil and say that you'll have to learn Hindi from today, that's wrong. I oppose that. But at the same time, if the person chooses to also learn Hindi, let's say he's learning and respecting his own mother tongue, his mother tongue could be Tamil, a person's mother tongue could be Telugu, they are learning their mother tongues. Besides that, if they want to learn Hindi, if they feel, okay, if I learn Hindi, probably the connect with the country may be better. I can go work anywhere. The person could also be thinking about his or her bread and butter. So in that case, if I say, no, you're not supposed to learn Hindi, that's very wrong, because learning only one language won't help in the current day scenario, because everybody has to be a forced polyglot. You may have to at least learn to understand and speak at least 2-3 languages to survive. That's the basic requirement. So Hindi imposition is wrong. At the same time, imposing that one must not learn Hindi is also wrong. So we always go to extremes. That's one thing. And second thing is, the moment Hindi imposition or anti-Hindi agitation comes, people take that on Sanskritam. Sanskritam has nothing to do with Hindi. Hindi has its own roots. It is not a direct derivative of Sanskritam. Sanskritam could have influenced Hindi, but it had its own route. So there is a Prakrit, and then there is an Avadhi, and then from Avadhi and Prakrit, then comes the current day Hindi, and then the current day Hindi also has influences of Urdu. So they all take different routes. So there's a Persian route, there is a North Indian route, there is a Prakrit route. The commonality that people see is, okay, the script is the same. So that way, even they should be against Marathi, because Marathi also uses the same Devanagari script. So going by the script, okay, if I oppose Hindi, if I'm against Hindi, okay, I'll be against Sanskritam. Sanskritam has nothing to do with Hindi. In fact, you go to the bylanes of Mylapore or Malleshwaram in Bangalore, Mylapore in Chennai, or Maritpalli in Secunderabad. You go and ask people, how many of you know Sri Vishnu Sahasranamam in pure Sanskritam of which is found in Sri Mahabharatam of Vyasa? How many of you know? You will at least find 1,000 hands. I'm just giving you a very low number. If you go to Mylapore, you'll at least find 50,000 people raising their hands. Oh, I know. So, okay, now you go to Lucknow, which is the capital of Uttar Pradesh being the heart of Hindi-speaking belt. How many of them will know Vishnu Sahasranamam? You will barely get 10 or 50. So though there's an assumption South Indian people speak Kannada, Telugu, Hindi, Malayalam and Tamil. They may not be associated with Sanskritam. No, there have been wonderful scholars in Sanskritam in the southern part of the country as well. So Sanskrit scholars were, irrespective of which belt, whether it was Tamil belt or Hindi belt, they were spread across the country. You had one Madhusudana Saraswati, the great Advaitic scholar from West Bengal. You had Chaitanya Mahaprabhu from Gaudiya Vaishnavism, who traveled all the way south till Srirangam. He sang Sikshashtakam. You had Ramanujacharya, Adi Shankaracharya and Madhvacharya, the founders or probably the propagators of Advaita, Visishtadvaita, and Dvaita Matam coming from Tamil Nadu, Kerala, and Karnataka.
Right.
So, the moment people oppose Hindi, they think they have to oppose Sanskritam, which itself is something very illogical. So, Sanskritam needn't be opposed at all. And second thing, Sanskritam doesn't have its own state. See, Tamil Nadu owns Tamil. Andhra and Telangana own Telugu. So, which state owns Sanskritam? So, that which is not owned by somebody is meant for all. So, respect your mother tongue, give utmost importance to it, treat your mother tongue just as your mother. But just because you treat your mother so well, it doesn't mean you have to respect the mother from the other house. So treat Sanskritam not as your mother tongue, as a lady from the other house, give equal respect to her. So, when this concept, this thought, percolates into the people, I feel the general acceptance of the language, respecting that language will come. This is my thought.
Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.